The followers of Jesus. Who were they? And what did they believe?
They followed Jesus as a rabbi and adhered to the laws of Moses.
Here's the penis.
Which means they circumcised, ate kosher, and respected Saturday as the Sabbath. So really, the first followers of Jesus were Jewish, and that's why scholars have called them Judeo-Christians. But most scholars believe that some 300 years after Jesus' crucifixion, this Jewish Christian movement disappeared.
The early followers of Jesus were Jews. So one of the questions we will always ask, what happens to the Jewish movement that Jesus initiated? Jesus leaves this area and he heads south. Why? To go to Jerusalem. Why? To celebrate Passover as a good Jew. He doesn't return. And perhaps his followers that were Jewish had gospels and traditions that are now lost because this area was conquered just a few decades after Jesus by the future emperors of Rome. So what are these people all along here who believe that he made God present in their life? What are they thinking? I often urge us to think about pre-cross Christology. Now, what does that mean? Prior to the cross, there were people here who believed he was the Messiah. They believed he was the one sent into the world.
The earliest followers of Jesus would have regarded him as Messiah, not the Son of God, but a man descendant from a king chosen by God. The Gospels tell us that James, Jesus' brother, took over the leadership, and for the next 30 years, he was able to use this place as the first HQ for the Jesus movement.
So this is the Vatican before the Vatican.
This is the Jerusalem church right here. Think of it. The whole family, James, all Jesus' brothers, Mary Magdalene, she would have been here many times. Picture it crowded, bustle, and people are talking, and meetings are being held, correspondence being written, dispatches. They're directing an international movement. James probably spends quite a bit of his time praying in the temple. They said his knees were like a camel. But he's also an administrator directing an international movement.
As you're saying this, it actually makes me sad. At the end of the day, they were written out of history.
They're written out of history and they disappear.
Sad.
Yeah.
But why was the early Jesus movement written out of history? Why did they disappear?
In 67, this area is destroyed and burned. Jaffa is taken by Vespasian. Gamla over here is eventually taken by Vespasian and Titus. And right here at Migdal, a whole generation, perhaps 2 generations, were wiped out. People are dying. Rome is conquering the area. These people, they have an oral tradition. When they die, memory dies with them, oral traditions go with them. Let's assume that they did write some things down, but the area is being burned. The world has been destroyed.
Can a dead Messiah still be a Messiah? Over time, some followers began to answer the question by suggesting that Jesus was divine. But for James, the brother of Jesus, that was going off message. James was now the head of the Jerusalem church. His group regarded Jesus as a mortal, human, messianic prophet, but not as divine. The followers of James were called EBIONITES, poor ones. And when they weren't running things from their Judeo-Christian headquarters, new evidence shows that they just might have written some of their thoughts down and left them in this cave.